Hey there, this is Big Anklevich, and this is another episode of Cheap Toy Hunting. You're watching Big Anklevich on Toys. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cheap Toy Hunting. Today I got a couple of items for you that I wanted to show off. We've got this Galactic Heroes Dewback, and basically I wanted to show off the man bat, but it came with a Batman, so I guess I'll put him on screen here too. Why don't we start with those two and then we'll come back to the Dewback. It should probably come as no surprise to you that I have become slightly obsessed with Halloween in the last year. I got my toy shelves all decorated up. My study looked super Halloween-y. It looked really cool. I thought, anyways, last Halloween. Basically, I just decided it was time to take it to the next level. So I have been looking for things to improve my Halloween shelf. I saw this man bat right about that time. I think I just stumbled upon it online because I never ever once saw it in any store. And I thought a big Titan Heroes man bat would be really cool on a Halloween shelf. You know, it could give you that height that you need in the background. You know, you have all these little 6-inch figures, and they're cool and all, but they don't go anywhere near the top of the shelf. You know, the shelves that I have are usually right around 12 inches tall. So if I don't have something a little bigger, they're gonna look weirdly empty up above. And I can condense them down, but I have books on all my shelves, so I can only condense them down as far as the books allow, which isn't very far. Can cut out some of the overhead space on a 6-inch figure display. But generally I need something tall to go in there to really make it look good. It's one of the main reasons why I put up with Titan Heroes figures, because Titan Heroes figures have a tendency to be kind of lame. They're like the old Star Wars Kenner figures, you know, the 5 POA, you know, they barely move. They're basically statues, and not dynamically posed statues, standing straight up and down statues. Like the way this Batman here is standing is about as good as it gets. Usually, although Mattel, with their DC figures, has really been taking it to the next level with them. You can see, let me demonstrate. You can see Batman now has knees, he has his hips, and his hips and open. He's got elbows that twist and bend. He's got wrists. He's got shoulders that bend like this. His head only bends side to side, so I guess there's still something they can improve, but they won't because they don't have Batman for much longer, unfortunately. They have lost the license. I don't know if this particular license goes to Spin Master as the one that got the license. There's Spin Master and McFarlane have taken the DC license from Mattel. So yeah, we can get Batman a cooler pose. I like it, but what I'm really here for is the man bat. This Batman, I think I'm probably just gonna give it to my 7-year-old son. He has a whole big collection of Titan Heroes figures. He has a Batman, but it's the gray and blue Batman, and I think he's pretty excited about getting the black Batman. So I'll probably give it to him. It's funny because you would think kids, you know, they're fine with the 5 points of articulation figures. You know, that's what I would think that these figures are made for, usually. They're big, they're cheap, they're good for little kids. You can give them the figure, they'll be happy with it. Doesn't move much, but you know, it moves enough that you can say it's an action figure. The thing is that my son is super excited about this Batman and any other figures that he's gotten. He's gotten the Black Manta that also does all this. He loves having knees and elbows on these guys. Why I wish, like even the brand new Avengers Endgame stuff that just came out from Hasbro still has the stupid articulation scheme that they have. Why don't they just rip off these Mattel figures? They sell for the same price, so they must be just as easy to make in the factory. So why don't they rip it off? Please rip them off, Hasbro. I would love Titan Heroes figures if they all did this much. I might just only collect them because they're good. The sculpt is good. There are usually really good looking figures. It's just that the articulation sucks. And you know, a guy like me who has done a couple of videos already about how you can improve your Titan Heroes figures to really bring out the sculpt and make them look good, could be totally happy just collecting them. Now, let me get Batman out of the way because he is not indicative of what I'm about to talk to, which is Man-Bat does not have all that articulation. So sharing him with my son might, I mean, he would still think it was awesome because Man-Bat is, I mean, look at how cool looking this guy is. He's really cool, but his articulation is much less. He's got the shoulders, he has no elbows. I assume it's so that these wings can remain stretched out and flapping. He's got these crazy shaped legs so that he's bat-esque, bat-like. But yeah, all he's got is wrists. He's got ankles that move. Does he have a waist? Nope. I don't think any of these guys have waists. And then his head turns around, but in a really weird way. You don't really want his head to turn around because, like, seriously? Here, my head is on upside down and backwards. So he's pretty much, his head's just gonna stay. He's gonna just probably stand on my shelf just like this, with his arms out. Now, I am going to use my favorite technique on this guy before I put him on the shelf, which is to get either the black shoe polish or another way that I found out how to do it is just get some regular old black acrylic paint, water it down a little bit, and paint it on. But that will look so good because you see all the fur all over this figure. And when you put on the, I believe they call it a wash. I don't know, that's gotta be some kind of artistic term or something like that. I'm not really smart with that stuff. I'm pretty sure they call it a wash. Put a black wash onto this guy, all of that detail is gonna come out and he's gonna look twice as frightening. You know, a Batman or a Man-Bat sitting on my shelf at Halloween is gonna be just super cool. Let me tell you the story real quick about how I got this, because this is cheap toy hunting after all. The Man-Bat and Batman sold as a 2-pack. That's why I had them both up there. They came together. There was no way to get them separately. All I really wanted was the Man-Bat, but I was stuck with both of them. The Batman was cool because it was the black Batman my son didn't have, so I knew I could give it to him. But the 2-pack sold for 20 bucks, which, you know, that's not expensive. It's what you would expect because these figures generally sell for $10 by themselves. But, you know, I like to get my toys cheap. So here is what I often do to get cheap toys. I will find it on Amazon. Okay, so this guy was selling for $19.99 on Amazon. I found it on Amazon. I put it in my cart. And then I put it into the Save for Later section. Save for Later has, so it's just in your cart, but it's just down below. And you can scroll down and you can look at all those things. But the thing about Amazon is that the prices on their stuff change really frequently. They'll go up and down and up and down, and it can be really worth it to watch things. And I think they have apps that do that too, so maybe if you're less hands-on, you can just do the app thing. Just set the app up and have it watch for you. I know that they have some apps even where you can tell it what price you're willing to pay, and it will give you like an alert or something like that when it comes down to that price. So that's probably a good option to take. All I do is just put it in my cart. And every now and then, I will go to my cart and I will scroll down and look and see if the price has gone up or down on any of the things that I am watching. And this Man-Bat did not change price at all. It just rock steady at $19.99. It never went down to $19.96 or any of the stupid games that they tend to play. It stayed rock solid at $19.99. And then one day, I was scrolling down and it said $13.99. So now each figure had dropped from $10 a piece to what, $7 a piece? And I thought, okay, I am doing it. I would pay $13.99 just for the Man-Bat, which I suppose is what I actually did because I'm not keeping the Batman. So I threw that back into my cart and checked it on out. We have the Amazon Prime anyway, so there's no shipping. And so I got this Man-Bat for $7. It's really big. It's really cool. I think it's totally worth it. I think it was a great deal to get this guy for that price. All right, so let's go check out our Galactic Heroes. All right, so here is our Galactic Heroes Dewback. I found it at Marshall's. It was selling for $5.99. I already kind of like the Galactic Heroes. They're really cute. I love Star Wars, obviously, and cute toys like this are becoming kind of the thing. But these are really cute, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is those Funko Pop figures that are the biggest rage right now. And I have a couple of them, but I'm not really a fan of them. I don't like the soulless kind of black eyes. Some of them can just look really creepy. Others, not so bad. They're all right. But a lot of them are just kind of nightmare fodder, really. Whereas these guys, they're just fun, you know? They have the big feet, the big hands, the big heads, the little bodies. They're like cartoon characters of my favorite thing. And this is definitely one of my favorite things. I love Dewbacks. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I loved Land of the Lost when I was a kid or something. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. It's hours of entertainment, especially the Slee Stacks. Those things are awesome.
Galactic, my friends.
Dewbacks were always something that I thought was cool. Let me show you something real quick. This right here is the granddaddy of them all. This is my Power of the Force 2 Dewback and Stormtrooper Beast Pack. This is the oldest new toy that I have. I do have a couple of battle beasts that I saved from when I was younger, but most of my toys from my childhood all were lost. My little brother destroyed them. I handed them down. I thought about saving my G.I. Joes, but I didn't. I gave them to my brother, and so they are long gone. So this was the first toy that I bought when I started actually collecting toys, as opposed to just having toys to play with. And so I bought this when I was in college. Me and Rish Outfield happened to be at a Fred Meyer one time, and they had these guys and they were on sale. They had a Tauntaun, they had a Dewback, they had Jabba the Hutt, and probably one other beast that you could get. And the Dewback was what I wanted. It was super cool. And I was broke as frick. I should have bought all of them, to tell you the truth, but the Dewback was the only one. Oh, the last one that they had was the Ronto. That giant goofy dinosaur thing, stolen straight out of Jurassic Park and used in the prequels. Came with a Jawa. I think I did eventually get a Ronto, although I gave that to my oldest son as a toy for him because, yeah, special editions were pretty sad, and I didn't want any evidence that I originally was not outraged by them like I should have been. I was outraged by some things about these special editions, but I should have been outraged by more, I have to say. But anyways, I got this Dewback because I think Dewbacks are so cool. You can barely see them in the original Star Wars. I think what they did was they just took a taxidermied rhino and did some stuff to it to turn it into an alien beast, and then a guy sat on it in the background and it didn't even move, if I remember right. Then they made this thing in the special editions, and you actually got to see what the Dewback looked like in motion. They did have toys of Dewback originally, all the way back in the Star Wars days. You could get one. And I had one at one time, but I didn't collect the original series stuff. I only collected the newer stuff, and so I gave it to somebody that I knew that did have a big collection of original Kenner stuff. And now I regret it. I wish I could get it back. But yeah, this Dewback is the very first toy, you know? It's got a really special place in my heart. I will never, ever, I don't care what people have to say about Power of the Force 2 toys and how the Stormtroopers and everybody else looks like they've been totally hitting the gym and getting pumped, and they got these gigantic chests. They look like they're supposed to be Superman toys instead of Star Wars toys. I don't care. I love this toy. This is my number one dime. I'm not gonna ever get rid of this toy. But as you can expect, I have a really special place in my heart for Dewbacks because of this. So, going back to the Galactic Heroes, when I saw this thing for $5.99, I could not resist it. I had to get it. Although I did almost resist it, because you look at this Stormtrooper, what is all this crap that he is holding He's got this gigantic gun, a gun as big as he is, and this looks like a gigantic blue electric torch. I think that that's supposed to be the prod. You know, the other figure that I was just showing off had that big long stick, and I believe that's supposed to be some kind of a prod to get your Dewback a-walkin'. And I'm guessing that must be what this thing's supposed to be. It's the cattle prod, although in this case it's a Dewback prod. I almost didn't get it because this Stormtrooper is ridiculous. And what are you going to do with a guy that has this kind of crap in his hands? You can't set him. I mean, how does he even fit on the back there with all of that? But I looked on the back and they had this little graphic where they showed, oh no, you can, here he is with regular arms. He's got regular arms and a regular gun. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, if that's possible, I had to look, because you can't, I don't see the arms, do you see them anywhere? But way back underneath there, I don't know if I could even get it onto the camera, but back there underneath all that stuff, his arms are under the plastic back there. So he comes with that too. So give me just a second. I'm going to get him out of the package and we'll take a look at the Dewback Galactic Heroes, $5.99. All right, so here's our Dewback out of the package. I'm kind of bummed. The Stormtrooper sits on the Dewback a little awkwardly. I wish that there was a better setup for that. I actually have a Galactic Heroes Tauntaun, which you may remember from my show about my Christmas decorations. And the Han Solo sits on the Tauntaun really well. This Stormtrooper just kind of looks like he's dropped onto, I don't know, he's barely hanging on. He's just kind of sitting back, his feet are sticking way up high. He's laying on the Dewback or something. His butt fits into the seat okay, but just the way you gotta have his feet sticking out like that, I wish they could open wide and straddle the thing like it should, so it would look a little better. But I think it's really cool. It's a cute little guy. I thought it might be funny to do one of those pictures that I've seen a fair amount on like Instagram and stuff, where people use like the Lego Stormtroopers as like the baby Stormtroopers, and then your 3 3/4 inch ones are like the dads and they're out playing with their son. It might be fun to use my regular 3 3/4 inch Dewback, and this one could be like the little baby Dewback that runs alongside it. But anyways, it's still cool. I like that his arms are able to be the regular ones, so you don't have to have, I mean, here's the other arms. This gigantic gun, and it shoots a missile. See? Oh, so rad. This thing at least comes out of the guy's hand. There's even a little spot on here that you can stow it. But you can't take the gigantic electric shock off of it. So you would be just stowing this blasting blaster on the side of your Dewback. So it's best to be rid of those accessories. This guy will look really cute. I'm sure, or maybe you remember from earlier episodes of Cheap Toy Hunting, I mentioned my Wall of Magic, or I guess, I believe we call it the Wall of Voodoo here on Big Anklevich on Toys, because magic is just not quite spooky enough. But yeah, it's gonna be just a whole section of my study that's going to be divided up into tiny little dividers where I can put tons and tons of random toys like this. This one will look great on the Wall of Voodoo. It's just what I'm looking for. And I love Dewbacks, so double good. So this little $5.99 pickup is really fun. And let me show you, I have others like him, things that I love. I love speeder bikes, and I saw this one also at Ross, although by the time I saw it at Ross, I already owned it because I saw it years ago, it feels like, on clearance at Walmart, and I got it there. And I also have the Rancor Monster and Luke Skywalker. And I also love the Rancor Monster more than a human being should. The Rancor monster was one of my favorite things about the Return of the Jedi, which, as I've confessed, is my favorite movie of the Star Wars saga. So I love it. It's really cute as well, so I love having it and Luke Skywalker. All of these things, I mentioned my Tauntaun that I also have. There's not a whole lot, I don't think, that Galactic Heroes makes now that I love that I haven't already gotten, but maybe they'll stumble upon something else and be like, oh, I gotta have this one too. But yeah, they will have a pretty good representation on the Wall of Voodoo when it's finished. So there you go, there's another cheap toy hunting. If you like the Dewback, you may want to run out to Ross and give it a look-see. It may still be there for $5.99 or possibly less. I'm sorry, don't run out to Ross, run out to Marshall's and pick up this Dewback because that is where I found it. Anyways, that's my cheap toy hunting for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click that thumbs up and give me a like. And if you are not a subscriber, you should be, because there's great stuff on this Big Anklevich and Toys channel, you know? I mean, it's really, really gonna be awesome. It's gonna be totally worth your while to hit that subscribe button, so do so. And also comment, you know? Tell me what you got this week or recently. What's a good cheap toy deal that you found? Let us know, and especially if it's something we could even go and get still, you know, because some of us may be like, what? You got this for how much? Where? And we'll be off getting it. That'd be cool. Talk to you later, everybody. See you next time.